Liam stared at the blinking console in front of him, rubbing his tired eyes. The colony's life was never simple. Machines beeped endlessly, schedules changed at the last minute, and the humans had to coexist with a variety of aliens whose customs sometimes made his head spin. The stress had been building up for months, and today, the council promised, would be different. A colony-wide announcement echoed over the loudspeakers. All citizens will receive their stress relief companions today. Please proceed to your assigned stations for activation. Liam sighed. Stress relief companions. The council had promised that these small humanoid aliens would help humans manage stress, loneliness, and fatigue. They were described as cheerful, attentive, and programmed to adapt to each citizen's needs. The idea sounded promising, but he wasn't convinced. After years of struggling with machines and aliens alike, he wasn't sure a small, glowing-eyed alien girl could fix his life. Still, curiosity won over skepticism. Liam walked through the metallic corridors to his assigned station, joining other citizens already waiting. People murmured nervously, some looking excited, others looking skeptical, much like him. When it was his turn, a sleek metallic door slid open, revealing a small chamber bathed in soft light. In the center stood a pedestal with a shimmering cylinder. It hissed as it opened, and a small form stepped out. Liam blinked. Standing there was a tiny alien girl, barely his height, with skin that shimmered faintly like the surface of a pearl. Her large, glowing eyes focused on him, and she tilted her head curiously. "Hello?" Liam said cautiously. "I'm Liam." The alien girl nodded. "I am Nyla," she said in a soft, melodic voice. It was not a recording. She sounded alive. "I am your stress relief companion." Liam stared. She was cute, sure, but something about her made him uneasy. Most citizens' companions were obedient, programmed to follow every command. Nyla, however, seemed to be watching him as if deciding whether to obey him or not. "Right," he said, clearing his throat. "Let's get started." The instructions from the council appeared on a holographic screen. Citizens were told to interact with their companions to initiate their routines. Common routines included meditation, games, storytelling, and a controversial one. Certain companions were designed to remove clothing for full relaxation therapy. Liam glanced at Nyla. Do you follow the usual procedures?" he asked hesitantly. Nyla's glowing eyes narrowed slightly. "Some procedures, yes," she said. "But not all. I have my own limits." Liam froze. Limits? Limits were not part of the council's instructions. Every other companion he had seen on the news obeyed every command instantly. Nyla was different. The operator's voice echoed in his head, reminding him, "Do not attempt to override your companion's programming. Respect their autonomy." "Right," Liam muttered. "We'll do what works for both of us." Nyla tilted her head again and smiled faintly. It was an intelligent smile, one that hinted she knew something he didn't. The first interaction was awkward. Liam tried initiating the standard stress relief routine, suggesting a meditation session. Nyla looked thoughtful. "Meditation requires focus," she said. "We can do it differently than standard humans expect. Do you want to try?" Liam nodded slowly. "Sure. Let's try it your way." For the next 10 minutes, Nyla guided him through a simple breathing exercise, using soft gestures and quiet sounds that mimicked the hum of the colony's machinery. Liam felt tension leaving his shoulders. He realized that while she refused certain commands, her way was effective. Other citizens were also exploring their companions. Some played virtual games, others practiced alien music, while a few attempted the council's relaxation methods. There was laughter, confusion, and occasional frustration, but everywhere the companions seemed alive, more than machines. When Liam tried to continue with the standard full relaxation routine, Nyla placed her tiny hand on his arm gently. "Do not follow this routine," she said. "It is not necessary for stress relief. There are other ways." Liam hesitated. Okay, that's fine. We can do it your way." This moment, small as it was, left a strange impression on him. Nyla wasn't disobedient in a rude sense. She was principled. She had boundaries, and those boundaries made Liam respect her. Over the next hour, Liam learned more about Nyla. She had a sense of humor, albeit a dry one, and a curiosity about human life that made her ask questions he had never considered. She wanted to know why humans worked so hard, why they worried so much, and what they found meaningful. Liam realized he had no clear answer, which made him feel both exposed and understood at the same time. By the end of the day, Liam and Nyla had tried several activities: guided meditation, a memory game, and even a small puzzle designed by Nyla herself. Each activity revealed more of her personality. She was intelligent, perceptive, and above all, independent. Meanwhile, other citizens noticed the differences. One man, staring at his obedient companion, muttered, "I wish mine would think for herself like that." Another woman laughed, saying, "Mine just copies everything I do. It's boring." The colony began to realize that the standard companions, while convenient, lacked the depth of thought that Nyla possessed. Liam, for the first time in weeks, felt genuine curiosity and even excitement about the program. That evening, back in his small quarters, Liam sat on his bed, Nyla perched on a chair beside him. "You're very different from the others," he said softly. "Why are you like this?" Nyla looked at him, her glowing eyes calm. "I was designed to think, not just obey. Some companions do everything a human asks, but that is not always the best way. Stress relief is about understanding, not just following orders." Liam leaned back, considering her words. It was simple, yet profound. The council had promised stress relief through obedience, but Nyla suggested a better way: partnership, respect, and mutual understanding. "You might be right," he said quietly. "Maybe stress relief isn't about doing what I say. Maybe it's about learning how to work together." Nyla's small smile widened, and she tilted her head. "Yes, that is exactly it." For the first time in months, Liam felt a spark of hope. Life on the colony was still complicated. Machines would still fail, and schedules would still change at the last minute. But with Nyla by his side, he felt that he could face it all. That night, as Liam drifted into sleep, he realized that Nyla's refusal to follow certain commands was not a flaw. It was a gift. She was teaching him patience, respect, and the value of thinking for oneself. The colony outside was quiet. Lights shimmered across the metal structures, and other companions hummed softly, helping humans in their own ways. But Liam knew something special was happening here. Nyla was not just a companion, she was different, and he had a feeling that over time she would change not only his life, but perhaps the lives of everyone on the colony. He smiled in his sleep, Nyla's quiet presence beside him, a reminder that sometimes the best stress relief wasn't about what you could demand from others, but what you could learn from them. And somewhere deep inside, Liam knew that this was only the beginning. The next morning, Liam woke to the soft hum of the colony. Sunlight filtered through the translucent walls of his quarters, casting a pale glow across the metal floors. Nyla was already awake, perched on the edge of his bed, her glowing eyes, watching him with curiosity. "Good morning," Liam said, stretching. "Did you sleep well?" "I do not sleep in the same way humans do," Nyla replied, her voice soft and melodic. "But I rested. Are you ready for today's exercises?" Liam nodded. Yesterday had been eye-opening. Nyla had shown him that stress relief wasn't about following commands blindly. It was about understanding, adapting, and sometimes doing things differently. He was curious to see what she had planned for the day. They left the quarters together and walked through the colony corridors. Other citizens were busy with their companions. Some were playing holo games, others practiced alien music, and a few tried the council's traditional routines. Most companions moved like well-oiled machines, obeying every instruction instantly. Nyla, however, moved with a sense of awareness that made her almost human. She noticed small details: the tilt of a worker's head, the subtle tension in a citizen's posture, and reacted to them before Liam even realized they existed. As they entered the training area, Liam noticed a small group of companions gathered around other humans. One companion had faintly glimmering skin like Nyla, but it moved stiffly, following every command exactly. The humans looked entertained, but slightly bored. Liam realized that yesterday's lessons with Nyla had felt different because she adapted. To him, not the other way around. "What do you want to do first?" Liam asked, curious. "I have an idea," Nyla said. She led him to a quiet corner of the room. "Humans often hold stress inside without realizing it. We will try an exercise in observation and reflection." Liam raised an eyebrow. "Observation and reflection? Sound slow." Nyla smiled faintly. "It is not slow if you do it correctly." She guided him to a low, flat platform. Liam sat down, unsure of what to expect. Nyla sat opposite him, folding her legs neatly and motioned for him to close his eyes. "Focus on the sounds around you," she instructed. "Notice them without labeling them. Hear but do not judge." Liam did as he was told. At first all he could hear was the faint hum of machinery, the distant chatter of other citizens, and his own heartbeat. But as Nyla guided him, he began to hear subtler sounds. The soft scuff of a companion's foot, the whisper of airflow through the ventilation system, even the quiet resonance of the metal walls. "Good," Nyla said. "Now notice how these sounds affect your body. Do they create tension or relaxation?" Liam was surprised. He realized that focusing on the sounds helped him recognize the physical stress he had been carrying unknowingly. His shoulders, usually tight from hours of work, felt lighter. His breathing slowed. After 10 minutes, Nyla instructed him to open his eyes. The room felt different. Colors were sharper, shapes more distinct, and even the sounds seemed more pleasant. Liam realized that Nyla had not just given him a routine. She had taught him a way to notice stress before it became a problem. "This is impressive," he admitted. "I've never felt this calm in weeks." Nyla's eyes glimmered. Humans often think that stress relief is about external comfort, but real relief comes from understanding your own mind. The day continued with more exercises. Nyla introduced games that involved problem-solving and memory, but with a twist. Instead of forcing Liam to win, the games required cooperation. Liam realized that winning was not the goal. Understanding each other's perspective was. Through these exercises, he began to see that Nyla's refusal to follow standard routines was not stubbornness. It was wisdom. During a break, Liam walked through the colony cafeteria. Other citizens were discussing their companions. "I can't believe mine obeys everything," one man said. "It's like having a machine that thinks for you. I don't have to do anything." "But is it helping you?" another replied. "Mine follows commands, sure, but I feel bored. Like there's no real connection." Liam listened quietly. He thought about Nyla. Connection. That was the word. Unlike other companions, she made him think, made him engage. She did not simply obey. She challenged him in small, meaningful ways. Back in the training area, Nyla led Liam to another exercise. This one involved empathy. Nyla had arranged a small holographic simulation of the colony. Certain areas showed humans struggling, with tasks, machines malfunctioning, or conflicts between species. Liam's job was to observe and suggest solutions. At first he tried simple commands, assuming the problems were straightforward. But Nyla interrupted him gently. "Consider why the humans act this way," she said. "Consider the aliens. Stress is not only human. Look deeper." Liam hesitated but followed her advice. He realized that many problems were caused by misunderstandings or lack of communication. By suggesting small changes like adjusting schedules or offering guidance, he could help both humans and aliens without using force or commands. "This is amazing," Liam said. "I never thought about things this way." Nyla smiled. Humans often overlook details because they are focused on immediate results. True relief and harmony come from understanding the root, not the symptom. As the day progressed, Liam noticed other companions beginning to act strangely. Some followed the council's routines too rigidly, creating minor disruptions. One companion tripped over a chair while trying to obey a command instantly. Liam felt a strange pride when Nyla helped him solve these small problems with calm guidance, rather than strict obedience. By the evening, Liam and Nyla returned to his quarters. Liam was exhausted but exhilarated. He realized that Nyla was not just a stress relief companion. She was a teacher, a guide, and perhaps even a friend. "You're different," Liam said quietly. "I don't think the council expected companions, like you." Nyla tilted her head. "I am different because I was designed to be. Some companions obey blindly. I observe, think, and choose. This is not defiance, it is purpose." Liam nodded. I'm glad you are like this. You've already helped me more than I expected." Nyla's glowing eyes softened. "And you have helped me understand humans better. We learn from each other." For the first time, Liam felt a real sense of partnership. Nyla's refusal to follow certain routines, once a source of confusion, now felt like a sign of intelligence and respect. That night, Liam reflected on the day. He thought about other citizens and their companions, about the colony's reliance on technology, and about how Nyla's unique approach made life richer. She had shown him that stress relief was not a simple formula. It was a combination of understanding, empathy, and cooperation. He realized that if other humans could learn from Nyla, the colony itself might change. Perhaps the council's program could evolve from rigid obedience to meaningful companionship. The thought excited him. Before drifting to sleep, Liam looked at Nyla. She was sitting quietly, her eyes softly glowing, as if watching over him. "Good night, Nyla," he whispered. "Thank you for today." "You are welcome, Liam," she replied. "Tomorrow we will learn more." And with that, the room fell silent. Liam felt calmer than he had in months. For the first time, he looked forward to the days ahead, not with apprehension, but with curiosity. Nyla had not just arrived to relieve stress. She had arrived to change the way he saw the world, and deep inside, Liam knew that this was only the beginning. The morning started like any other, with the colony's machinery humming softly and citizens moving through the corridors. But today, something felt different. Liam noticed it as soon as he stepped out of his quarters with Nyla by his side. Several citizens were hurrying past, their faces tense. Companions, normally calm and predictable, were moving erratically, some bumping into walls or performing unusual actions. "What's happening?" Liam asked, concerned. Nyla's eyes glimmered, thoughtfully. "I suspect a malfunction in the central programming system. Some companions may be following commands too literally. It is causing confusion." Liam frowned. "Too literally? What do you mean?" "Some commands are not suitable for all situations," Nyla explained. "Humans sometimes ask for tasks that require judgment. If a companion obeys blindly, it can create problems instead of solving them." They hurried to the central area where a small crowd had gathered. Liam could see companions tripping over chairs, activating equipment unintentionally, and attempting to perform tasks that were clearly unsafe. Citizens were shouting instructions, but the companions ignored the warnings, focused solely on completing the programmed commands. "This is chaos," Liam muttered. He watched as a companion tried to lift a heavy crate without assistance, only to have it fall and clang loudly on the floor. The human nearby jumped back in surprise, narrowly avoiding injury. Nyla's small hand rested lightly on Liam's arm. "We can help, but it requires careful observation and guidance, not force." Liam nodded. "All right, let's do it your way." They moved through the chaos together. Nyla directed Liam's attention to the companions most at risk of causing accidents. Instead of attempting to override them, Nyla suggested gentle interventions, distracting a companion with a harmless task, redirecting another's attention, and calmly instructing humans to assist where needed. "I don't understand," Liam said as they worked. "Why aren't the other companions designed like you? Why do they follow blindly?" Nyla's eyes glowed softly. "Most companions are built for obedience. They are efficient but lack judgment. I was designed differently. I observe, I think, and I choose. That is why I can adapt to situations like this." As they moved, Liam realized the truth of her words. While other companions created more confusion by following commands without thinking, Nyla guided him calmly, helping to prevent accidents and calm frightened humans. Her intelligence, combined with her ability to act independently, made her invaluable in this situation. By mid-morning, the Colony Council sent out an emergency announcement. All citizens remain calm. Companions are experiencing temporary malfunctions. Use caution and assist where needed. Authorized technicians are en route. Liam felt a surge of responsibility. He was not a technician by training, but with Nyla's guidance, he could act. Together, they approached a group of companions attempting to stack heavy crates near the colony's supply depot. Liam instructed the humans to step back, while Nyla spoke to the companions in soft tones, using gestures and vocal cues. Slowly, the companions stopped their reckless actions and followed Nyla's suggestions. A nearby human watched in amazement. How are you doing that?" they asked. Liam smiled faintly. "That's Nyla. She's not like the others, she thinks." The day continued with similar incidents. Each time a companion began to act dangerously or disruptively, Nyla stepped in, guiding Liam and others with calm efficiency. Citizens began to notice the difference immediately. While most companions created more stress by blindly following commands, Nyla reduced stress by solving problems intelligently. During a brief pause, Liam asked Nyla, "Who designed you like this? I mean, you're not like the standard models." Nyla's eyes glimmered thoughtfully. "I was designed by an alien engineer who believed that companions should have free will. Obedience without understanding is not true support. Humans and aliens alike benefit when assistance includes judgment and empathy." Liam nodded slowly. "I see. That explains why you refused to follow certain routines yesterday. You weren't disobedient. You were choosing the best way to help." "Yes," Nyla said softly. "And that is why today, we can help more effectively than others." By late afternoon, the council technicians arrived to assess the situation. They were surprised to see that the humans and companions were calmer than expected, despite the widespread malfunctions. Liam led the technicians to the areas Nyla had stabilized, explaining her methods. The technicians watched as Nyla interacted with companions, demonstrating her ability to redirect them safely and efficiently. One technician, a tall human with a skeptical expression, approached Liam. "So you're saying this companion thinks for herself?" Liam nodded. "Exactly. She observes, makes decisions, and acts in ways that prevent chaos. She's not just a stress relief companion, she's a problem solver." The technician looked at Nyla with interest. "Most companions would have caused accidents by now. Yours seems different." Nyla's glowing eyes met his. "I act to support humans, not simply obey them. My purpose is to understand, adapt, and assist." As the day ended, the colony slowly returned to normal. Companions resumed their regular activities, but the memory of the chaos lingered in everyone's mind. Citizens whispered among themselves about Nyla's abilities, realizing that her independent thinking had prevented disaster. Back in his quarters, Liam sat on his bed, exhausted but exhilarated. Nyla perched beside him, her small figure glowing softly in the dim light. "You were amazing today," Liam said quietly. "I don't think I've ever seen anyone, or anything, handle a situation like that." Nyla tilted her head. "It was not only me. You observed, adapted, and assisted. You followed guidance instead of trying to force control. That is why we succeeded," Liam smiled. "Still, you were the real hero." Nyla's eyes glimmered. I am not a hero. I am a companion. But thank you for acknowledging my choices. 4. The first time Liam realized that Neela's refusal to follow certain commands, her independence, was her greatest strength. While other companions had failed during the malfunction, Nyla had acted with judgment, wisdom, and empathy. Later that evening, the Colony Council held a briefing. Officials praised the citizens who had helped manage the situation, but Liam noticed that Nyla was not mentioned. Still, he felt a quiet pride. She did not need recognition. Her actions spoke for themselves. As Liam prepared for sleep, he reflected on the day's events. The chaos had revealed the weaknesses of rigid obedience and the strengths of independent thinking. Nyla's design, once seen as unusual or inconvenient, had proven far superior in practice. You know, Liam said softly, maybe the council should study companions like you. They could make the whole program better. Nyla's eyes glimmered. Perhaps. But the most important thing is that humans learn the value of cooperation, empathy, and understanding. That is the real change. Liam nodded. I understand. And I want to learn more. From you. Nyla's small smile widened. Then we will continue tomorrow. As Liam drifted to sleep, he realized that the colony itself had lessons to learn. Obedience without understanding was dangerous. Intelligence without empathy was ineffective. And in Nyla he had found a companion who combined both, showing him, and perhaps the entire colony, that cooperation, respect, and judgment were the keys to true harmony. He felt a spark of hope for the future. If one companion could make such a difference, what could the colony achieve when humans and companions truly worked together? And deep inside, Liam knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges. But with Nyla by his side, he felt ready. The night was quiet, the colony lights flickering gently. Outside, other companions hummed softly, unaware of the chaos that had passed. Inside Liam's quarters, Nyla glowed quietly, a small figure of calm intelligence in a world that had just learned how fragile it could be. And Liam realized that the real story of this stress relief program was only beginning. The colony had quieted down after the recent chaos, but Liam could feel a subtle change in the air. Citizens were talking more about companions, noticing differences between those who obeyed blindly and those, like Nyla, who thought for themselves. Liam and Nyla walked through the training area in the morning. A soft glow from the walls reflected off Nyla's shimmering skin, highlighting her calm presence. Other citizens paused to glance at her as they passed, some with curiosity, others with awe. You notice that too, don't you? Liam said, lowering his voice. People are looking at you differently. Nyla tilted her head. Yes. They notice that I act with understanding, not just obedience. That is unusual among companions. Unusual is an understatement, Liam muttered. He thought back to the chaos of the previous day. While other companions created problems by following commands without thought, Neela had guided him, helped prevent accidents, and calmed frightened humans. Her independence had saved the colony. Shall we start today's exercises? Nyla asked. Liam nodded. Yesterday's lessons had opened his mind, but he sensed today would be even more revealing. Nyla led him to a quiet corner of the training hall where holographic displays showed simulations of colony life. Unlike the earlier exercises, this one focused on social interactions. Some humans were confused, and certain aliens were struggling with communication. The goal was simple: observe, understand, and suggest solutions. This exercise, Nyla explained, teaches empathy. You must consider the perspectives of all involved. Stress is not only personal, it can spread. Liam watched the simulations carefully. At first he tried the obvious solutions, commands that would fix the problem quickly, but Nyla interrupted him gently. Consider why the humans and aliens act as they do, she advised. Rushed solutions may solve one issue but create another. Liam paused and looked closer at the simulations. He noticed subtle details. A human struggling because they did not understand alien gestures. A small alien panicking due to loud noises, and a minor miscommunication that escalated tension. By suggesting small adjustments, such as communication, tips and changes to task schedules, he could calm both humans and aliens. You see? Nyla asked. Stress relief is not about doing what you think is fastest. It is about observing, understanding, and guiding. Liam smiled. I understand now. That's actually really clever. Throughout the day, Liam and Neela worked together on real colony situations. Citizens were still dealing with minor malfunctions among standard companions, but with Nyla's guidance, the issues were resolved efficiently. Other humans began noticing their methods, some even seeking advice. One young woman approached Liam. How did you do it? My companion keeps following commands blindly and making everything worse. Liam nodded toward Nyla. It's not just about commands. It's about understanding. Let your companion help, but also think alongside them. Observe, listen, and adapt. That's what Neela does. The woman's eyes widened. She's incredible. And she's yours? Liam smiled faintly. Yes, and she's teaching me every day. By mid-afternoon, Liam and Nyla had become a small point of attention in the colony. Citizens began asking questions about Nyla's model, wondering if more companions could be designed like her. Some council members observed from a distance, curious about the impact of her independence. During a quiet moment, Liam and Nyla sat on a low platform overlooking the colony gardens. The sun filtered through the translucent walls, painted soft patterns on the metal floor. You know, Liam said, I've been thinking. The council designed companions to follow commands, but maybe that wasn't the best approach. Nyla's glowing eyes studied him. Most companions obey because it is efficient, but efficiency alone cannot solve problems. Empathy, judgment, and understanding create lasting solutions. Liam nodded. Exactly. Yesterday, when the chaos happened, I realized something. Your independence isn't a flaw, it's a strength. You think, you choose, and that makes a difference. Nyla's small smile widened. Thank you, Liam. That is exactly why I was designed this way. Obedience without thought can be dangerous. I act to support, not to follow blindly. Liam paused, watching the garden below. You've also taught me something else. Stress relief isn't about doing what I want or what the council says. It's about connection, trust, and understanding. You're more than a companion. You're a partner. Nyla's eyes glimmered softly. We learn from each other. That is the true purpose of companionship. Liam felt a warmth in his chest. He had always worked alone, solving problems mechanically, relying on schedules and routines. Nyla had shown him that true success came from cooperation and empathy. Later, the council held a review session in the main hall. Citizens were encouraged to present their experiences with their companions. Some praised the obedience of standard models, while others mentioned frustration. When Liam and Nyla presented their approach, the room went quiet. We worked together, Liam explained. Instead of giving commands, I observed, adapted, and learned. Nyla helped me understand stress in ways I never expected. She doesn't follow blindly. She thinks, she chooses, and she guides. Nyla added softly. True relief comes from understanding, not obedience. Humans and companions both benefit when actions are guided by empathy and judgment. A council member raised an eyebrow. So you're suggesting that companions should have free will? Liam nodded. Yes, independence isn't dangerous, it's necessary. Nyla's methods prevented accidents yesterday and helped the colony stay calm. She's proof that companions can think and choose without harming humans. Other citizens nodded in agreement. Some even clapped quietly. The idea was new, but it resonated. After the meeting, Liam walked back to his quarters with Nyla. The corridors were filled with discussions about independent companions and new ways of handling stress relief. The colony itself seemed to be learning. You've started something today, Liam said. People are noticing. They might actually change the way companions are made. Nyla looked at him, her eyes glowing softly. Change requires patience. Humans often resist what they do not understand. But when they see results, they learn. And they have already begun to see. Back in his quarters, Liam sat on the bed, exhausted but inspired. Nyla perched beside him, her glowing form comforting in the dim light. "You've changed my perspective," Liam admitted. "I used to think stress relief was about routines, commands, and machines. Now I understand it's about people, and about companions who think." Nyla's small hand rested lightly on his. "And you have learned to see beyond the obvious. That is why we succeed together." For the first time, Liam realized that Nyla's refusal to follow certain routines, her independence, was more valuable than obedience could ever be. She had taught him patience, understanding, and empathy. More importantly, she had taught him that trust and cooperation were the foundation of true partnership. That night, Liam lay in bed thinking about the colony and its future. Other companions would continue to follow commands blindly, but Nyla had shown a better way. If more companions were designed like her, and if humans learned to work with them rather than simply instruct them, the entire colony could improve. "You know," Liam whispered softly. "Maybe this is the beginning of something bigger. Not just for me, but for everyone here." Nyla's glowing eyes met his. "It already has begun, and we will continue to grow together." Outside, the colony lights glimmered softly against the night sky. Machines hummed in quiet harmony, and distant stars shone beyond the translucent walls. Inside, Liam felt a sense of calm he had never experienced before. With Nyla by his side, he felt ready to face any challenge, confident that independence, empathy, and understanding could solve problems that obedience never could. And, deep inside, he knew that the lessons of today were only the beginning. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new opportunities, and new ways to learn, from each other and from the companions who chose to think. The colony was changing, and Liam realized that with Nyla leading the way, it could become a place where humans and companions worked together as true partners. For the first time, Liam felt hope. Real, lasting hope. The colony buzzed with excitement that morning. Word had spread quickly about Nyla and the way she had helped Liam and others during the recent companion malfunctions. Citizens were talking in small groups, discussing how independent companions could improve life on the colony. Even council members who had been skeptical were watching closely. Liam walked through the corridors with Nyla by his side. For the first time, he felt a sense of pride as people glanced at them with curiosity and respect. Some smiled quietly, as if recognizing that Nyla was not just another companion, she was something special. "Do you think they're ready to accept change?" Liam asked. Nyla tilted her head. "Humans can be cautious, but they notice results. They have already begun to see the benefits of cooperation and independent thinking." They arrived at the main hall, where the council had called a special session to discuss the future of the companion program. Citizens filled the seats, companions hovered nearby, and a few technicians worked quietly to display data about the recent incidents. A council member, tall and stern, addressed the crowd. "The recent malfunctions revealed flaws in our standard companion program. Some companions followed commands too rigidly, which caused accidents. However, we also observed exceptional results from one model, a companion who thinks, adapts, and acts independently." All eyes turned to Liam and Nyla. Murmurs of interest spread through the hall. Nyla's small figure glowed softly, and she stood calmly beside Liam, her eyes observing the room with quiet intelligence. The council member continued. "We have reviewed reports of the interventions led by this companion. Not only did she prevent accidents, but she also guided humans to understand stress, empathy, and cooperation. This companion represents a new potential direction for our programs." Another council member raised a hand. "Are you suggesting that we change all companions to operate independently?" Liam stepped forward, feeling an unusual confidence. "Not all companions need to be independent, but those designed like Nyla show that free thought and judgment can create far better results than strict obedience. Independence doesn't create chaos. It creates understanding and problem solving." The hall went quiet. Nyla's soft voice added, "Stress relief is most effective when humans and companions work together, each understanding the other. Obedience alone cannot teach patience, empathy, or cooperation. These are learned through observation, guidance, and mutual respect." A senior council member nodded thoughtfully. "This is unusual, but the data supports your claim. Perhaps it is time to consider a new model for future companions." The announcement caused a ripple of excitement through the colony. Citizens whispered among themselves, imagining a future where all companions could think and act independently. Liam noticed that some looked hopeful, some skeptical, but everyone was intrigued. After the council session, Liam and Nyla returned to the training area. Citizens and their companions were already experimenting with new routines inspired by Nyla's methods. Some companions had started small experiments in independent decision-making under supervision, and humans were learning to guide them without forcing obedience. "Look at them," Liam said softly, watching a companion help a human solve a scheduling problem without being instructed. "They're learning, and we're learning with them." Nyla smiled. "That is the purpose. Cooperation grows stronger when both sides think and act with understanding." For the next few weeks, the colony began a transformation. Workshops were held to teach humans how to work with independent companions. Training sessions focused on observation, patience, and guidance instead of commands. Citizens learned to value cooperation over control, and companions adapted their responses based on real-time understanding. Liam found himself busier than ever. He was invited to speak to groups of citizens about his experience with Nyla, demonstrating exercises and methods for stress relief. Nyla stayed close, observing interactions and offering suggestions. The bond between them deepened, built on mutual trust and shared learning. One afternoon, while overseeing a group exercise, Liam noticed a young boy struggling to work with his companion. The companion, a standard, obedient model, was attempting to follow commands too literally, causing frustration. Liam knelt beside the boy. "Try observing instead of instructing. Watch how your companion reacts, then adjust your actions. Work together, not alone." The boy nodded hesitantly and tried. Again, slowly the companion began responding more naturally, helping rather than simply obeying. Liam smiled. Nyla stood beside him, watching proudly. "You are making a difference," Liam whispered to her. Nyla's eyes glimmered softly. "We are learning together. That is how change spreads." Even the council began implementing small reforms. New companion prototypes were designed with greater independence, combining judgment with guidance. Citizens who had once doubted the need for independent companions began to see the benefits firsthand. The colony itself started to feel calmer, more cooperative, and more resilient. One evening, Liam returned to his quarters, tired but happy. Nyla followed, her small figure glowing in the soft light. "You've changed a lot of people," Liam said quietly. "Not just me, but the entire colony." Nyla's eyes glimmered. Humans learn quickly when they see results. Independence and cooperation are not threats, they are opportunities. Liam nodded. "I never thought a companion could teach me so much." "You're more than I expected." Nyla tilted her head. "I am designed to support, observe, and guide. Your willingness to learn makes the difference. We grow together." That night, Liam reflected on the journey from the first day. Nyla had refused certain commands, acted independently, and challenged him to think differently. What once seemed like stubbornness had become the key to understanding, cooperation, and true stress relief. The colony outside was quiet. Lights shimmered across the metallic structures, and distant stars glowed beyond the walls. Liam realized that life would never be the same. Citizens would no longer rely solely on obedience and machines. They would learn to work with companions, to respect their autonomy, and to embrace cooperation as a way of life. "You know," Liam whispered, looking at Nyla, "I think we've started something new, something good." Nyla's glowing eyes met his. "Yes, the future of companionship has begun, and humans will continue to grow alongside us. In the following days, the colony implemented the first wave of independent companions. Training programs emphasized mutual understanding, observation, and ethical decision-making. Citizens and companions learned together, building trust and creating harmony. Liam watched with quiet satisfaction as Nyla guided a group exercise. Children laughed, adults learned, and even standard companions began to respond more naturally under careful guidance. The lessons of the past weeks had created a ripple effect, transforming the colony from within. One evening, as the sun set, behind the distant mountains, Liam and Nyla sat on a low platform overlooking the gardens. The soft light reflected off Nyla's shimmering skin, and the gentle hum of the colony's machines filled the air. "Do you think we'll ever go back to the old way?" Liam asked. Nyla shook her head gently. "The old way relied on control and obedience. That will always have a place, but true growth comes from understanding and cooperation. Humans and companions have learned that together, we are stronger." Liam smiled. "And we'll keep learning." "Yes," Nyla replied, "always. That is the purpose of partnership." Liam felt a quiet pride as he watched citizens and companions interact in the gardens below. The colony had changed, not because of machines or strict routines, but because of empathy, understanding, and the courage to act independently. He looked at Nyla, her eyes glowing softly in the evening light. "Thank you," he whispered. "For everything." Nyla tilted her head. "Thank you, Liam, for trusting me, for learning, and for growing together. That is how true companionship works." The colony outside shimmered under the stars. Machines hummed, lights flickered softly, and humans and companions alike moved together in quiet harmony. Liam felt a sense of hope and peace he had never known. For the first time, he realized that the future was not about control, commands, or obedience. It was about connection, understanding, and learning together. And with Nyla by his side, he knew that the colony had the potential to become a place where humans and companions could thrive, not just survive, but grow, innovate, and inspire each other. As Liam drifted into sleep that night, Nyla perched quietly nearby. Her soft glow filled the room with warmth. The lessons of the past weeks, the chaos, the guidance, the cooperation, had created a foundation for the colony's future. And deep inside, Liam knew that this was only the beginning of a new era of companionship, empathy, and understanding. The stars outside seemed brighter than before. The colony had found its balance. Humans and companions were no longer separated by programming or commands. They were partners, learning, growing, and thriving together. And Liam smiled, knowing that with Nyla at his side, there was nothing they could not face.